If that's the case, and I may be wrong on this, you may be liable for damages, for any casualties that may have taken place during the collapse. And so you, my friend, may go to jail, worst case scenario. All right, what's going on, guys? We got a lot to cover today, but I promise I'm gonna make it as flawless as possible, and we're gonna be going over a couple of differences when it comes to the professional engineering license and when it comes to the project management certification, the PMP. I've worked with project/program managers in the past, and I've actually played the role of a project manager myself without a certification. And so I'm going to be speaking from experience here in this video, and also based on some research that I've done, so that I can make things a little easier for you when it comes to clearing your vision and deciding which path to take in the future, if you are considering and you are not sure which way you should go when it comes to your engineering career. Okay? But so if you disagree with me, or if you think that I'm wrong, then that's cool. You can just leave your disagreement in the comments below, or you can tell me thank you for this video, and I'm going to drop you a like, and I'm going to hit the subscribe button. So go ahead and do that right now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. All right, so the way this is going to work is that we're going to jump onto my screen, and I have a whole chart or a table that I'm going to be going over the differences and similarities between the PE license and the project manager certification. So we are going to be going over the screen right now. I actually made a really nice presentation here for you, and I don't want you to jump ahead just yet and read everything. So the first thing that we want to mention here is that the definitions when it comes to the PE license and the project management certification, and when it comes to the PE license, the professional engineering, the PE license, if you never heard of it, it basically validates you meet certain standards. It's basically a standard test that tells people that you have certain qualifications, and that you can take a test and you have some experience, and basically that you know what you're doing. On the other hand, when it comes to project management, this basically tells employers that you have an idea on how to develop or how to run a project, how to make something happen, per se, from scratch, of course. So this is basically, when it comes to definitions, is really not that complicated. And now we're going to be going over the prerequisites. As we can see here, the first one that you need for a PE license is obviously your degree. You need to take the fundamentals of engineering test. And if you haven't watched the video where I go over whether or not you should get a PE license, then I highly suggest you do, because I go over the prerequisites and who's it good for, and I go over in detail on what you need and when you need a PE license. So I suggest you take a look at that. On the other hand, however, when it comes to a project manager certification, you really don't need a degree. So if you have a degree, as it says here, you need approximately 36 months of experience leading projects. But if you don't have a degree, then you need 60 months of experience. And you need approximately 35 hours of the project management training. Now, I'm going to list the resource where I gather all this information in the bottom below. But your company, if your company wants you to get this certification, then I highly suggest that you run it through your company. And that way they can pay for everything. They can pay for a training, for the test, because why would you pay for something that your company can pay for? You know what I mean? Exactly. Okay, so now we get into more, which one is harder to get? In my opinion, I think the PE license is a little harder to get. And the reason for that is because, I mean, check this out. You need an engineering degree, which is not easy to do. You have to take a standard test, the FE test, which, if this is the first time you're hearing about me talking about the PE license, then I suggest that you take the fundamentals of engineering test when you are a junior or a senior in college. And this is another hard thing to do. Working under a professional engineering licensed engineer. This one is a little hard to get, because as an engineer, I personally never worked under a PE licensed engineer. And so I'm not eligible right now to take this test. And honestly, this may be a little hard, because you may work for a company and never really work for a professional engineer. So I think this one is a little tricky. It's a little harder to get. But if you are someone that is interested in that test, then obviously you have to go through with this first, right? And then obviously the last step here, which is also hard, is taking the PE test. On the other hand, however, if we look at the project management certification, I mean, you don't need a degree. You need about 3 years. This can be hard to get, though, a little bit difficult to get approximately 3 years worth of experience leading projects. And if you don't have any experience or any qualifications per se, if you don't have a degree, then who's going to make you in charge of a project, you know. So this also may be a little difficult. And I mean, the hours of training, that one is pretty easy, and then you have to take a test here too. But I mean, if you're an engineer and you take this PMP test, this is going to be a piece of cake in my opinion. And I've also heard it from other people that have taken the test as well. So overall, I think that the PE license is hard to get, mainly because of the prerequisites and the number of years it takes to get one. So who is it good for? This is the other $1 million question, because you know, the first thing that you want to ask yourself whenever you want to get a certification or you want to get yourself a degree, whenever you're working towards something, ask yourself what you're going to do with it. What do you need it for? Are you planning on moving up the corporate ladder? Are you planning on opening your own firm? Are you planning on just having the title next to your name? So it's good to ask yourself these questions, because that's going to help you realize whether you need something or not. Sometimes people just want the title, and I mean, if you can afford it and if you have the time and money to do it, then I mean, go ahead and do it, you know, if you like the title that much. So when it comes to a PE license, I think mainly is for people that want to be the signature authority when it comes to design drawings, when you want to submit something. If you want to open your own firm, I think also is for someone that wants to move up the engineering ladder, or perhaps even boost your resume. I think that the PE engineering license helps you a little bit with that. I have never worked for a company that requires me to have a PE and the 9 years of experience. And honestly, I'm not planning on getting one either. So if you are someone with a PE, please enlighten us with your experience and what it was like for you in the comments below. Now, when it comes to a certification for the PMP, the project management certification, this is mainly for people who want to lead projects. Obviously, I'm reading off the slide, and enhance their credibility when applying to companies. I think this is also crucial to know. I personally think that PMP gives you a little bit more prestige, and this is just in my opinion, of course, because it's more transferable, and you deal with, I want to say, of course, depends on the project, and it's going to depend on the specific situation that you're dealing with. But when it comes to a PMP, you deal with very large projects. You may have a larger group of people that work for you. And so let's jump right next to the slide here. Let's talk about a focus. Now, of course, it's not news that a PE license is a little bit more technical. You deal more with meeting technical requirements. You deal more with safety, and people are going to be working for you, and they're going to be running technical questions and technical requirements by you. You are going to be the leader when it comes to meeting technical requirements, because that's what the professional engineering license does, right? That's why you got it, because you want to sign off on drawings. You want to be the lead or someone that approves drawings for a certain component. Now, when it comes to a project management certification, you are going to be focused more on having a team work for you, because you are going to be the one dealing with more with budget, scheduling, meeting technical requirements. So there may be a situation where a PE licensed engineer works for you as a project manager. So that could be the case, right? I personally, when I was supporting project/program manager in my early days in my career, I'm kidding. I do remember that I worked with professional engineering licensed engineers. Now, did they need that certification? I don't think so, because they weren't the ones really that were signing off the drawings. But I guess it was a nice addition to their title whenever they send you an email and they say, John Smith, PE. So I guess it does give you a warm and fuzzy feeling that they know what they're talking about, but they're humans and they also make mistakes. So it doesn't make you immune to mistakes, obviously. The next question that we have here, does it enhance your status as an engineer? They both give you credibility, but if I had to pick one, honestly, depends on the projects that I'm trying to work on, right? If I'm trying to submit something to the state and I need someone to go over technical requirements, or I need someone on my team with a PE license, then I will hire a PE engineer. But when it comes to leading projects or leading a team, and then I will probably pick a project manager. So I personally think that a project manager certification, it increases the perceived value that you bring to a company, in my opinion, of course. But if you are someone, again, it really depends on what you are looking for. If you are looking for a technical expert, or you are looking for someone who is going to run a project that is going to hopefully save you money, someone that is going to meet schedule, and someone that is going to meet technical requirements, then a PM may be more suitable for you based on, so it's going to really depend on your perspective. And then let's talk about a little bit about disadvantages, because let's be honest, both of them have disadvantages. And the fact of the matter is that for both of them, you may not even need them. Like, for example, I never really needed a PM certification. So I was about to get one in the past, but I realized that I didn't really need it, and so I never got it. But I did get a lot of experience learning from other project managers or program managers for the organization that I was supporting. Now, when it comes to liability and responsibility, I want to say that there is more liability when it comes to a professional engineering license. Because let's say, I think a very common example for PE licensed engineers is that, let's say you build a bridge, and the bridge drawings and all the technical requirements are signed off by you. It's not going to be just you, but let's just assume for a second that you are the person that sealed the drawings and submits them to the state, and you prove that the bridge is safe. Now, 5 years, 10 years go by, and the bridge collapses, and they realize that it was a design flaw. If that's the case, and I may be wrong on this, you may be liable for damages, for any casualties that may have taken place during the collapse. And so you, my friend, may go to jail, worst case scenario. On the other hand, when you are a project manager, once you provide your deliverables and it's all said and done, everything is completed, then at that point, you're done. And if you met all the requirements from the contract and you provided all your deliverables, you are good to go, my friend. Like, you don't have to worry about anything, I think, and I may be wrong. And so if anybody else has any more insight to provide me or correct me here, I want to say that once you provide your deliverables, if you're a project manager, then you're done. So now let's talk about salary. I know we get into the end here, and I think that with a PE license, it may help you increase your salary a little bit. I'm personally not sure. If you work for public service, I don't think this really helps you that much, because in public service in the United States, you kind of go more by experience. But in the private sector, I think this depends on your position again, but I think this may enhance your salary. When it comes to the project manager certification, I want to say that again, in the public service in the United States, it may not help you that much. However, it may help you go up the ranks a little higher, because as I mentioned earlier, the PM certification is very transferable. And that's the next point that I'm making here. With the PE license, you kind of stuck with your level of expertise and your field of expertise. If you can speak the language of project management, then you can work managing projects, whether it comes to mechanical engineering or civil engineering. You can manage projects when it comes to different industries, whether it is in the naval industry, whether it is in the aerospace industry. So I want to say that the project management certification is definitely more transferable than a professional engineering license, because a professional engineering license only gives you a license for a specific field, for the specific field that you take it for. So, and lastly, when it comes to cost, as I mentioned earlier, if you can have your company pay for this, then go ahead and do that. But when it comes to cost, as we can see here, it's approximately $700 as of 2020. $700 for the test for the PE license, and for a project manager, for the project management certification is $400 to $500. So in conclusion, if you put a gun to my head or a knife to my neck and you say, pick one, would you pick the PE license or the the project manager certification? I will probably go with the project manager certification, because again, I'm not going to be as liable 10, 20 years from the time of delivery project. I am going to have, this is my perspective and my opinion, a little higher status when it comes to title. It may help you go up the ladder of a company a little better. And the last thing is that it's less technical. I'm at the point in my engineering career that I'd rather have somebody else do all the technical work. I already did that when the early stages of my career and I didn't like it. And now that I moved up the ranks a little bit, I don't have to do it as much. And honestly, I don't want to go back and do that. So that's my perspective, my opinion. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Which one would you rather have? Which one you're going for? And what your goals are in the future. If you find this video useful in any way or valuable, let me know in the comments below. Drop me a like, consider subscribing. I talk about engineering career and life analysis here. And with all that being said, my friends, this video may have been a little long, but I had a lot of information to deliver. And I hope this video clears your vision going forward. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Peace.